There's an expression that I've said on this podcast many times, but I'll say it again, is that hard times create hard men. Hard men create soft times. Soft times create soft men. Soft men create hard times. We are now around soft men and hard times.
Yeah.
We're in the time of toxic masculinity, right? Where you could be toxically male, and then if you're suppressing masculinity, you're going to bring on hard times. It doesn't mean masculinity doesn't mean you're mean. It doesn't mean you're angry. It means strength.
Yes.
It means discipline. It means the ability, like, you need a military. And if you don't think you need a military, you need to go and pay attention to the rest of the world, because there's militaries all over the world that are doing horrific things. If you don't have a military in this country that can combat that and at least act as a deterrent to them doing things, you're going to get taken over. That's what's happened. I mean, look what's happening to Hong Kong, right? I mean, this is a city that essentially doesn't have a military, and they were a British colony for a long time, and they gave it back over to China, and they were kind of acting like they were independent until recently. And during the pandemic, they ramped it up, and it's gotten even worse. Jordan Peterson has a really interesting way of looking at this, and he said people think that you should be weak and you should be docile, and then you should be a pacifist. He goes, no, you should be a monster. He said you should be a monster, you should be ruthlessly ambitious, and then learn how to control it. Doesn't mean that you can't be kind if you're strong, but it does mean you can't be strong if you're weak.
Yeah.
If you're weak, you're and there's a lot of weak people in this country right now that are trying to take control. And they're gathering up all the other weak people, and they say, yeah, let's all be weak together.
Yeah.
And they're willing to embrace all sorts of ideas that have been disproven, not just disproven, that have caused the deaths of untold millions of people in Maoist China and Stalinist Russia. And one of the most beautiful things that I think a young person can get involved in is martial arts, because martial arts teach you that in a way that very few things do. They teach you it in, especially jiu-jitsu, because jiu-jitsu is so complex and there's so many possibilities to it that it attracts a lot of really smart people. If you think of jiu-jitsu, you would think of like brutish individuals engaging in this hard martial art. If you go to a real good jiu-jitsu school, you see nerds. You see a bunch of like really smart kids that really get obsessed with the possibilities of this physical language. This physical language also teaches you the consequences of not working hard, of not being prepared, of not understanding positions, of not doing due diligence and doing the work. My right arm, I have a tattoo of Miyamoto Musashi. That's Miyamoto Musashi on my right arm. And he wrote this book, The Book of Five Rings. Miyamoto Musashi was a samurai who killed 62 men in one-on-one combat. And he wrote this incredible book about it. But one of the things he wrote in the book was, once you understand the way broadly, you can see it in all things. And I think that all difficult things are development. They aid you in developing your human potential. And you find a way to get out of your own way by getting good at all kinds of things. You cut through the bullshit. You think you're great at skateboarding? No, you're not. You suck at it. You got to get better at it. And the only way to get better at it is to practice it until you get better at it. And then you find that way. And in that way of getting better at that, you could apply that to playing the piano. You could apply that to playing chess. It's like this idea is that difficult things are tools. They're tools to maximize the way your mind interacts with life. If you're alive, you can get better at stuff. And I don't think people are happy if they don't have puzzles and complex tasks and things that are interesting to them, whether it's an art project or whether it's learning something completely new like stand-up comedy. Doing things that are difficult is as much of a nourishment of the mind as food is a nourishment of the body.